Hi there, this is Datila, and welcome to Adjusting Time Post Show. It is Monday, December 30th, 2024, and tonight I'll be talking about the last Monday Night Raw on USA Network, and I'm not alone. Joining me for this is Michael 101591.
How you doing, guys? How you doing, Datila?
Doing good. How are you, Michael?
Doing good. Christmas was good, and we're waiting on 2025 coming in, a few days.
Yeah, we're going to finally be in the SPD timeline of 2025. Crazy when SPD first year, it was 20 years in the future, and now it's been almost 20 years, and we're finally going to be in the SPD timeline.
It's becoming a reality.
Yeah, unfortunately, none of us will live to see the Time Force timeline, so.
Yeah.
Sadly. Well, even though technically Time Force took place in 2001, the show started in the year 3000, so none of us will be around for that.
No.
So, alrighty. So, it was, this whole week that I took off was nice,
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I took the week off too because, man, Monday Night Raw last week was horrible. Dynamite I didn't watch because it was Christmas Day, and SmackDown was just absolutely boring.
All right, but with tonight being the final Raw on USA was definitely we have some stuff to talk about.
Yeah.
All right, let's kick things off talking about CM Punk and Seth Rollins. Now, we have known for a while that it's going to be Seth Rollins versus CM Punk on the Monday Night Raw on the Netflix debut, which, by the way, I will be in attendance for.
She's lucky. Lucky.
Yeah, I'm going to be in attendance for the Monday Night Raw for the Netflix debut. So they actually closed tonight's show. They came face to face, and now honestly, I really, really like this segment. Had I not been watching Raw weekly, with this one segment alone, they sold me their match.
Yeah, this was good TV here from just by this segment here.
I agree.
They sold me for this match.
Yeah, this segment was good. One of the things that I like was that it felt like they were shooting on each other.
Yeah, I like when they go and shoot like stuff at each other to get the crowd going and be like, oh, like that.
I'm sure it was a work shoot, though, Yeah.
And of course, it's got to be a work shoot.
Yeah. Well, I also want to, the other thing that I like about this is that it didn't feel like Seth Rollins and CM Punk talking. It felt like Kobe Lopez and Phil Brooks talking. It felt like they were speaking like to each other.
Like they were trying to make it personal.
Yeah, definitely. I like the fact that Seth Rollins alludes to AEW in this and Colt Cabana. He doesn't name drop Colt Cabana, but he alludes to AEW. CM Punk brings up, taking the ball and going home like Becky Lynch and Stone Cold. Rollins calling CM Punk a cancer, not only to himself, but to the locker room, his brain. So I really like this.
Rollins did reference his wife, Becky. So a little, maybe tease of maybe a return of Becky.
Yeah. I mean, she's on the Netflix commercial, so we'll see. But this was a really great segment, and I like that it ended with both of them staring at each other. Because you just felt that the animosity, the hatred that they had for each other. Like this was such a really good segment. They did a really great job. Like, if you weren't interested in this match before, this one segment alone sold me the match.
Yeah, it was a very good segment to get us hyped for the match next week. I mean, it's a money-making match, This is a pay-per-view like quality matchup here, but it's going to be on Netflix.
This is a WrestleMania main event worthy match. This honestly, I would not mind Seth Rollins versus CM Punk to main event over the Tribal Combat match.
I think the Tribal Combat match is going to main event.
Yeah, I think that too, but this should main event, honestly.
Either maybe you have Roman start the show, or you're gonna have him close the show.
Yeah,
That's how the way I see them doing it.
same. But this was great. Really great. This is my favorite part of tonight's Raw.
Same. I think this match might be the second main event, and then it's gonna lead into the tribal combat match,
The co-main event.
the co-main event.
Okay. So Monday Night Raw kicks off with the New Day segment. This was honestly, I was not a huge fan of this opening segment. I
Yeah,
felt it was such a weak way to open Monday Night Raw, especially with this being the final Raw in USA. Like you would have thought the show would have started with the bang and ended with the bang. But I just felt like this was run of the mill opening segment. Like I did like the fact that the New Day still can't get their point across because the crowd is booing them.
they easily surpassed Dominic Mysterio in heat.
Yeah, definitely. But I hate how segment was all over the place because Jey Uso came out. Then we had the Bloodline on the Titantron, and then Jey Uso called out Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre cheap shot at him, and officials came and tried to separate them. So I feel like this whole opening segment was just all over the place. They should have just stuck with one thing, and I feel like they should have just stuck with the New Day. You get me?
Yeah,
But I feel like they were trying to do a lot.
yeah. It's like when it was like 10 minutes into the show, I'm like, there's nothing of importance happening in this segment here.
Yeah, exactly.
It was this pretty much to sum up this segment. It was just a crowd reaction segment.
Mm-hmm.
Just to
Definitely
sum up
agree.
the whole segment.
Yeah, this was not a good opening segment. This was probably my least favorite part of tonight's Raw.
Yeah,
All right.
I agree with you on that.
So again, American Made interview, and basically Chad Gable's talking about Otis and about how he's gonna kill his darlings and stuff like that. So this is an okay interview. This leads into Otis versus Chad Gable. I actually thought this was a decent match. Um, I really like the fact that Chad Gable won by submission. I feel like Chad Gable needed the win here because American Alpha, I was gonna say American Alpha, American Made. I feel like since they came together, haven't had the best run so far. So I feel like Chad Gable really needed this win.
Yeah, he definitely deserved this win because this is to probably close off his feud with the Alpha Academy. Because I sense that American Made's going to be moved to SmackDown, where they're going to have some new competition to face. And there's nothing more of American Made that they could do on Monday Night Raw. So having them go to SmackDown, that would be, pretty good for them. Because of
Yeah,
course
I agree.
WWE is having the whole like shake up because of the Netflix stuff.
I agree. I feel like them going to SmackDown would just open the door for new opponents for them to face.
Because
I hope
SmackDown's going 3
American
hours.
I hope American Made does really well on SmackDown. They haven't had the best one on Raw, so hopefully a change of scenery does them some good.
And are you thrilled that SmackDown's going 3 hours starting this Friday?
It's gonna be a lot of a lot to keep up with. That's for sure.
It's going to be a lot of filler. I can tell you
Oh
that
yeah.
now.
Yep. All right, so we get a Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan Vignette. This was actually a really great video package. I really like this video package, especially because we got to recap Rhea Ripley's 2024, Liv Morgan's 2024. But I really hope their feud ends at the Raw on Netflix. Like, just give the belt
Yes.
back to Rhea.
Hopefully that's the case.
Yeah,
They need to end this.
I'm so over this feud.
Me too.
All right.
I'm so over it, just as with Damian Priest and Finn Balor.
Oh yeah, that's another one.
Which we'll talk about soon.
Mm-hmm. All right. So we get a Judgment Day segment, and basically they're talking about Liv Morgan and about how she should have something up her sleeve. Now, Finn Balor, again, I feel like Finn Balor seems to be kind of pulling away from Judgment Day because he tells Raquel Rodriguez that from the bottom of his heart he wishes, Liv Morgan luck. And it seems like he's just not happy anymore. So I do think Finn Balor is going to be the catalyst for the breakup of this version of the Judgment Day.
Yeah, and a lot of the Judgment Day, just by this segment there, they're scared of Liv Morgan losing the title.
Yeah.
To Rhea Ripley.
She is going to lose.
Mm-hmm. And then by like the beginning of January or like mid-January, you got to see the end of the Judgment Day.
Mm-hmm. For sure. All right, so next we get, we're supposed to get Pete Dunne versus R-Truth. This match does not happen because
Thank
Pete
God
Dunne
this
attacks
match didn't happen.
R-Truth on the entranceway as he's making his way down to the ring. Like, Pete Dunne, he yells that he's nobody's Butch. And, as we know, R-Truth has been calling him Butch, not intentionally, but he's just being R-Truth.
In a jokingly manner.
Yeah.
But thank God this match didn't happen. This would have been awful.
I actually really like Pete Dunne attacking R-Truth on the ramp.
But I know we're eventually going to get that match somehow.
Oh, yeah.
Nobody's going to care for it.
All right, so we get a Damage Control interview, and basically Dakota Kai's talking about how it would be an honor to have face Io Sky in the finals, and it doesn't matter as long as someone in Damage Control brings the IC title to the group. I don't know about you, but I got the feeling that Io Sky kind of, I don't want to say wasn't happy, but it didn't seem like she really wanted Dakota Kai to advance to the final or to like win the belt. I kind of got that vibe from this interview.
Yeah, because it wouldn't make sense to have Io and Dakota in the finals because they're a part of Damage Control. I mean, where would Kairi Sane be when she comes back?
Yeah. So we'll see maybe I'm just reading too much into Io Sky's body language during this interview, but we'll see. So you get the IC title tournament match, Dakota Kai versus Zoey Stark. This was actually one of Dakota Kai's best matches since she's come to the main roster. And she actually emerges victorious, so I'm pulling for her to win the title.
Yeah, I think Dakota's gonna be all in to win the title. She's gonna be the first ever women's Intercontinental champion, to me, in my opinion.
Yeah, I could see that happening. All right, we get a video package of just some memorable moments of Monday Night Raw throughout the USA Network. Interesting thing, they featured Chris Jericho, Sasha Banks, Chyna, Edge, Dean Ambrose.
Throw it all in AEW's face.
Yeah, honestly. But I actually really like this video package. I think that Raw on USA just has had some of the most memorable moments on TV.
Exactly, and all the moments that we've seen over the years that we all know and love.
Yeah. Like, it's so crazy. Like, I cannot believe this was the final Raw on USA after so many years,
Well, this was the second time that Monday Night Raw has been on USA because they made their debut in '93, and then they moved off of USA in 2001 and went to TNN, which became Spike TV, and then Raw came back to USA in 2005 as part of Raw Homecoming.
So if they would have stayed, they would have been on the air for like 20 years since coming back. So 19 plus years. So 19 plus how many years? Like,
so 10, 20 was 2013. That's 20 years. 30 years, 2023. So 31 years.
No, I know how long Raw's been around. I'm saying how long in total was it on USA? Like 26 years, I think.
From 93 to, I think, 2001. That's 8 years for its first year. And then
19.
And then
19 years. So, yeah, roughly like
to now.
27 years, maybe?
Around there.
Yeah, so it's been a long time on USA. Obviously, we're not going to sit here and talk about our memories of Monday Night Raw on
That's
the
for
USA
another
Network.
video. That
would be for another video because we'll be here all night. But I actually really like this video. Again, they featured a lot of AEW wrestlers.
Triple H thrown in Tony Khan's face.
Yeah. All right, so next we get Damian Priest and the War Raiders versus Judgment Day. Judgment Day getting new music.
Awful new music.
I was not a huge fan of this new music, and I don't think a lot of people were. There was a lot of discourse on Twitter about it. So,
including me.
Yeah. All right, so I thought this was a decent match. This was an okay match, but honestly, I really didn't care for it just because I felt like Damian Priest and the War Raiders were going to win. Like, I felt like this was pretty obvious. And then at the end, like, Judgment Day attacked Damian Priest, and Finn Balor chose Damian Priest. This isn't over until he says it's over. So I'm honestly pretty sick and tired of this feud. So I really didn't care for this match.
It's been going on for 4 months.
Yeah.
Since SummerSlam, since August. And it's still going on.
Yeah, so we need to move on from this.
Move on from Priest and Balor.
I agree. All right, so we get an Adam Pearce segment. Well, I should say Jey Uso / Adam Pearce segment. And we find out that next week it's going to be Jey Uso versus Drew McIntyre at the Netflix premiere of Monday Night Raw, which I'll be there in attendance. I cannot wait. It should be
very
a fun
good match. That's going to be a very good match.
Yeah.
I'm like, Datila's just rubbing it in my face. She's going to be there live.
All right. So next, Ludwig Kaiser cuts a promo. And he basically calls out Braun Breaker, but instead of getting Braun Breaker, he gets Sheamus. And this leads into a mini brawl between them. And it seems like the feud with Sheamus and Ludwig Kaiser is not over yet. So, I'm not tired of this feud yet, but I feel like eventually we have to move on from Sheamus and Ludwig Kaiser.
Yeah, it's not at that level yet.
Yeah, like I'm not at the point where I'm like, oh, this needs to end. You know, I'm not there yet, but eventually we need to move on from them. All right, so next we get an LWO segment. And Rey Mysterio is basically telling Otis that it took a lot of werewolves, eggs, but you know what that means, basically, to stand up to their mentor. Oh, he meant it took a lot of balls, but in Spanish it's werewolves.
There you go.
And then New Day interrupt, and basically the Rey Mysterio challenges them to a match, and New Day accept. Now, we did get a Vignette, and this pretty much, where is it? This pretty much confirms that Penta Cero Miedo is coming to WWE, and I'm pretty sure he's going to be debuted
next week.
Yeah, because if they have to debut him next week. I mean, it's in LA. People in LA know who Penta is. Their store, well, technically it's in Pasadena, but it's still here in LA.
Let's do it, Tilla. Cero
Miedo. I do not like this idea of Penta Cero Miedo being with the LWO. Because I feel like you don't need to put him with the LWO. He does not need to be in the LWO. I really hope what they do is I hope they swerve us. What I mean by that is, like, you have Penta be Rey Mysterio's partner. You have the LWO lose, but you have Rey Mysterio get pinned. And then you have Penta attack Rey Mysterio.
So you want Penta to be a heel in his debut?
Yes, I want him to be a heel. I don't mind him teaming up with Rey if it leads to Penta turning heel and attacking Rey Mysterio. I just don't want him to be a part of the LWO. Look with Dragon Lee.
Mm-hmm. Where's Dragon Lee been?
Exactly. And honestly, if he needs a mouthpiece, he should bring in Jose the assistant, since Alex Abrahantes stayed in AEW.
Or it's time to bring back Armando Alejandro Estrada. But the only reason why I think they're gonna put Penta with the LWO is because Rey Fenix, he's still contracted to AEW, and Tony Khan's just holding him hostage, so he might not get Rey Fenix in WWE until maybe a year.
Yeah, but I still think that it would be a great opportunity for Penta to be showcased as a single star. He does not need to be in the LWO. Every Latino wrestler does not need to be in the LWO or in Legado del Fantasma.
Yeah, true.
So I'm hoping Penta ends up being a heel here. All right. So last but certainly not least, we get the IC title match. The second semifinals. It's Io Sky versus Lyra Valkyria. This was actually a good match. Lyra Valkyria ends up being victorious over Io Sky. So it's going to be Lyra Valkyria versus Dakota Kai in 2 weeks for the women's IC title.
And it should be a good match, though. Obviously, Dakota Kai is going to be the one coming out as the winner.
She should, honestly.
I mean, Lyra's good and all, but I just pictured Dakota Kai winning it.
Yeah, this belt should go to Dakota Kai. Correct me if I'm wrong, but if Dakota Kai wins, that would be her first singles title in WWE, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so she more than deserves it. She's been in WWE since NXT was black and gold.
Yep.
So she in my opinion deserves it. Lyra, Kira, she's good, and her time will come. But this is Dakota Kai's time.
Yeah, it's definitely her time.
Yeah, definitely. All right, so we'll stop there because we talked about the Seth Rollins CM Punk stuff. So on a scale from a 1 to a Sean Spears perfect 10, what would you rank tonight's Raw?
Tonight's Raw would be a 6 out of 10 for me.
A 6 out of 10.
It's a very decent show it was to, end Monday Night Raw's time on the USA Network. And when it goes to Netflix next Monday, it's going to be a banger of a show.
Mm-hmm.
I know Datila's going to have a whole lot of fun.
For sure.
Wish it was in New York.
I'm not in New York.
No, I said I wish it was in New York.
Oh, New York gets everything. New York, Texas, and Chicago get everything. Let the West Coast have something.
I know. More respect to the West Coast. Datila's West Coast.
For me, this was a 7 out of 10. I felt like the opening of this Raw was just very meh. I didn't really care for this opening segment, and then I didn't care for Damian Priest and the War Raiders versus Judgment Day.
Still, it was a good match, though.
Yeah, it was a good match. I'm not saying it was a bad match. I just didn't care for it because we need to move on from Damian Priest and Judgment Day.
I agree.
And then the ending, the CM Punk Seth Rollins stuff, that was just a cherry on top.
Fantastic.
Like, if had this not closed, and
they would have did something wrong.
It would have just this episode of Raw would have just been I feel like a disaster. Like if this would have opened instead of closing, I think it would have ended on such a weak note.
It would end on a sour note. Yeah, head into next week.
Yeah, but this was great. I feel like WWE kind of just coasted because they're really stacking up next week's show. It's definitely going to be a must-see show next week.
Yeah, I felt like the past week's shows that they've just been filler until we get to next week.
For sure.
Like they were on autopilot mode.
Yeah. All right, Michael, where can people find you?
Well, you guys can find me on my channel here, Michael101591. I do WWE reviews, Monday Night Raw every Monday, SmackDown every Friday. My Monday Night Raw review is going to be up in a few, where I go over, the show move for move in the matches. Also do AEW Dynamite review on Wednesdays. Do the PLEs for WWE when they come about. I also do movie reviews, DVD, Blu-ray 4K updates, and I have old school commercial breaks on my channel. So if you like what you see, subscribe to my channel. And also, I will be doing a watch along next week for Monday Night Raw's debut on Netflix. So catch me live next week for that show. Come over and have some fun. I will be replacing Datila's live stream for next week on my channel. So do a watch along with me.
Yeah. As for myself, you can follow me on Twitter on X at Datila_. I talk Monday Night Raw, AEW Dynamite, TNA Impact, on Friday night SmackDown. I go live every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, occasional Saturdays and Sundays. And for all things TNA, you can catch me every Thursday on Body Slam. As far as 2025 is concerned, we are celebrating 20 years of Power Rangers SPD and 25 years of Lightspeed Rescue. I might do some Power Rangers content
Can't believe it's
for that. And then I will be going to Monday Night Raw next week for the Netflix debut.
Here we go again.
Make sure you guys subscribe so you guys can see all the cool stuff that I'll be uploading.
And since, when Datila doesn't review the shows where she can't make it, always come over to my channel and get your wrestling hookups from me.
Yeah. All right. Thank you guys all so much for watching. And for continued support, please don't forget to like and subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell so you can notify whenever I go live or do a video. And I will see you guys on Wednesday after AEW Dynamite. Bye.
See you guys.